a couple of different experiences, different pieces of research. One of them was on homeschooling, which this really surprised me. In a 2015 article in the Journal of Education and Social Research, they talked about multiple studies that showed multi-grade education is as effective as single-grade schooling in terms of academic achievement, and is actually better in terms of social learning. It's also more economical, but it's long been out of style in the US. And that's because it requires kind of outside the box teaching and creative lesson planning, because a lot of the standardized curricula and mainstream textbooks they just don't work for a multi-grade classroom. But that was so interesting to me because in my book, I talk about at one point we end up leaving the public school system and going into, I think that people would call it homeschooling, but I would say that I facilitated my son's education in that we partnered with community organizations, we partnered with community colleges, we partnered with homeschool groups and independent teachers and some services still at the public school. So it was kind of a really multifaceted approach. But a lot of the classes that he took were multi-grade, in a multi-grade kind of forum. And it was so effective. And just watching it, and it's like, my father grew up in a rural area where he was in a one-room schoolhouse where kids kindergarten through 8th grade were there. And I feel like a lot of us now think that that's kind of a really antiquated idea. But it was so interesting to me to read this research because I witnessed this, kids, the older kids were sort of mentoring the younger kids in these groups, and it was amazing. And the maturity that some of these, just even 5th and 6th graders had by mentoring younger kids in these multi-age groups, and everybody was learning. And I just was, it was so interesting to see research kind of confirm what I had seen.